Good evening, traders. This is my weekend video to kick off the day, the week. Martin Luther King Day here. So we're opening lower this morning versus Friday's close here on the futures overnight. It's 10 o'clock Monday night. So really first trading day of the week. So I want to try to give a quick rundown what I'm thinking is going on here. Okay, guys. So, some takeaways from last week that I want to float for all you guys to think about here. So, we had earnings kickoff last week. We had United Healthcare and a bunch of the banks, Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan, all report. Every single one of the mega caps or big cap names that reported closed below last week's anchored VWAP. I have that on these charts right here on my SPY. Last week's anchored VWAP, last week's anchored VWAP. Every one of the earnings that came out came in below. That's given us a warning sign, a shot across the bow that the earnings are probably going to be sold into because JP Morgan actually started above and finished lower. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Okay, in your trading this week. I'll start real quick with SPY, some things I'm looking at here on both sides. These are the charts that I use live. I share them. I have a group in Discord. I share it live all day. I don't really do much with that one as far as audio wise. And then I also have it in Zoom, where I'm a live or I talk live about it. Okay, so technically we've already, if you use the ES futures, uh, you know, we have, if I can show you real quick here on ES futures. Okay. Uh, so we just came a hair shy, really a hair shy of the all-time highs here on ES futures. Very good chance on the ES futures that's close enough that we have actually a double top formation because you are inside of, you see this right here. This here is your central pivot range. Okay, so this is could very well be the indicator right there that we've actually already topped, and we actually won't get the actual physical print for a major double top. So be mindful of that going forward here. If you go SPY here now, if you go into 1 hour here on SPY, assume that's the case. I'm going to zoom in here real quick so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Okay, we're below last week's anchored VWAP. Okay, and so I definitely want you guys to keep that in mind in your trading. And then also I want to point out right down here, this is your right here is your expected market maker move low for the entire week. Okay, uh, this represents right here the monthly central pivot range high, a very critical support area. We already tagged it once already. Okay, so this is very critical support, monthly central pivot range high. At that same level this week, okay, we're going into this week. This is also 2024's yearly anchor VWAP. Okay, VWAP. So both of these are lining up right there. And then on top of all of that, going into tomorrow, I put a regression channel on here, okay, and I'm not going to change it. Obviously the regression channel changes as time goes on. But if I anchored it off Friday, that regression channel falls right into this zone as well. So you got three things of confirmation of a major potential support area. So we have to be very mindful. We might be coming down to that area. So I'd be 272.16 for tomorrow. So I definitely want to keep that in mind. We're on the bearish side of trend. This is our weekly VWAP. This is our daily VWAP. We are just barely holding onto our VWAPs right here, right now. So we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. But I do want to give this warning. Now on the upside, if we were to confirm an all-time high breakout, okay, uh, our target area would be up here into the 487 to 490 area. 487, 490 area. Somewhere in this area here to the upside would be our target area for an all-time high breakout. So I do want to keep both of those scenarios in the back of our head. But from what I'm seeing, knowing that we are so close to the 2024 calendar year anchor VWAP, so basically all the inventory since January 1st, we could very well be coming uh, into that support areas. So be very mindful of that in this trade. Now, in the same breath, similar situation. See how that regression channel? It's all falling into that same area. It's almost perfectly mirroring the SPY on the Qs, going into those same potential areas. Now that doesn't mean price on Qs will come down, and match up exactly with SPY. I'm just saying the touch points are almost exactly identical. So I'm keeping that very mindful. Okay, in the back of my mind going forward into today's session, into tomorrow's session. Now, only thing takeaway that I have on this possible sell side down, I would have liked to actually seen some leadership in the Qs to the downside personally, because if you look here, we got the budget out, the fiscal budget coming out here. They're budgeting in all kinds of war money spending and stuff. So obviously yields initially have a bid this morning or this evening. So yields are initially getting a bid from all that extra spending for war efforts and stuff, and plus other geopolitical factors. So I'm really going to be watching this TLT tomorrow to see if we can get continuation lower, driving yields higher. So because that is quite inflationary, how much the government's planning on spending for the next calendar year. That's not deflationary; it's inflationary, the spending, and it's a lot higher than what a lot of people would expect. The kind of spending the government's planning on doing. Okay. As far as the Qs go, real quick here, on the upside, then puts us into the top of this regression channel, puts us up here into the 420, 22, 23, 25 area, potentially here on our expected measure move if we were to break out to the upside. So, and we'll just keep that one on watch as well. Still not getting an absolute clear thing, but we are below. Should be opening below our central pivot range tomorrow morning. We should be opening below last week's anchored VWAP range. So what you want to see in a really good market, in a healthy market, you want all these anchored VWAPs to continue all, don't cross. You want them just to continue going in an upward direction or a downward direction. So if we open down here this morning, we're actually going to be starting our new week out below last week's anchored VWAP, which in itself is not a horrible thing, but it is giving us an additional warning sign that of potential weakness setting up in the market. So definitely keep that on watch. Okay. Okay. 1 second here, and make sure my account information's not showing. Okay, guys. To continue with what I am talking about here, since the chart I'm looking at here, ARK looks like a head and shoulders formation starting to play out here. So be very mindful of this. ARK possibly very weak here. Another one, oh yeah, from my other. Let me show you here real quick. I have my Discord, guys, and some things that I'm looking at here on my Discord. Here's a chart I found. I've got it drawn out too. No, it's Tesla. We'll see Tesla. We do have a potential inverse head and shoulders forming here on Tesla, so definitely keep that one on the watch. On Tesla, where's IWM? There it is. There it is. The Russell Rut. You see how we had this topping formation right here? We came up. Looks like a blow off top. Looks like a blow off top that rejected. Very dangerous situation here on the Russell. This is looking like we're setting up for a breakdown formation here on the Russell. Definitely wanted to point that out there. Russell would be leading the charge to the downside if this scenario plays out. So definitely want to keep that on the back of everybody's minds going forward here. Okay. Another thing here on the Tesla chart. Let me show you here. If I go over here, Tesla. Uh, I like this chart right here. Tesla, we got a wedging formation, a bigger wedging formation. We're potentially coming into that bottom of that wedge right here for that inverse head and shoulders scenario. So definitely keep this one on watch here. If the IWM is breaking down, this pattern is likely breaking down as well. Okay, and with the additional bombing, so we have a new tanker on fire in the Red Sea. I mean, Tesla has to get their parts from China, and they're having to take all these parts around Cape Cod. So a lot of people are thinking this Red Sea thing is just going to be over and done with in a very relatively short time frame. So, but I think Tesla is actually one of the first stocks to be impacted because not many, a lot of U.S. manufacturing is done in Europe, but Tesla is one of the most premier ones that we know of. So be mindful of that. This is all going to significantly add to the cost of goods and services for Europe. And everybody thought Europe was going to lead the way for interest rate cuts with what's going on in the Red Sea. That's completely off the table, okay? Because the inflation issue is actually this that is majorly dangerous for Europe on inflation. So you have to nix the idea of rate cuts in any time near future here. Okay, so be mindful of that going forward. Okay, other things here. Other than that, that's the main thing. I'm looking at here, looking towards the bearish side to start the week. Really thinking we're going to be coming into those critical areas. Um, Find the chart real quick. Coming into these, um, like Tesla here. I mean, really thinking coming down into the 2024 year anchored VWAP is my primary thesis that we might be getting that tomorrow. So, it's just a hair's breadth away from that last Thursday's swing low. I mean, and everything was looking bullish back then as well. So, um, this is not a out of the box thought to think that we're going to be coming down to this area. So be mindful of that scenario going into tomorrow. Okay. Thanks a lot, and I will see you trading. Anybody can join my room if they want, or it's all free. It's no big deal. I'm not trying to. And just send me a DM or something if you want to get in, either into Discord, Slack, or there's a couple other groups I'm in too that are free that I could get you hooked up on too. Thanks a lot.